Hey pups, RP here, and today is another top 10 countdown. But this time it involves Christmas specials. Almost every TV show ever made has a Christmas special. Rugrats, Powerpuff Girls, SpongeBob, you name it, it may or may not have a Christmas special in its season. Today, I'm sharing some of my favorite Christmas specials. Ignore the one per franchise rule because I have no rules for this. But the only rule is, they have to be Christmas themed, or even slightly related to the holiday in some way, shape, or form. That being said, let's begin! A robot for all seasons from My Life as a Teenage Robot. My Life as a Teenage Robot was a pretty weird and unique show for a lot of reasons. This special is one of those reasons why. XJ9 aka Jenny Wakeman flies around and manages to save Christmas, while Santa's a full body cast. And thankfully Christmas is saved. The end. No, I'm totally kidding. After a big feast with Santa, Jenny heads off to the mall for the after Christmas sales with Brad, Tuck, and Sheldon. This is where they meet a kid named Todd Sweeney. Ha! Get it? Sweeney Todd backwards. Someone was a fan of the movie when this special was made. Wait, the movie came out 3 years after the special was made. Never mind, I was thinking of the 2007 one, not the 1984 one. Still, probably some inspiration there, I guess. Anyways, Jenny offers to help Todd and somehow got herself into a year-long coma, with her being feared and hated after she wakes up. Only to find out Todd used her as a weapon to ruin the holidays for the year, and all because his parents took off for a vacation. Thankfully, Sheldon's able to help her snap out of Todd's trance, and saves Christmas once again. Todd's family comes back, and he learns the real spirit of Christmas. Honestly, this special is an underrated gem, and the same is said for the whole show as a whole. But if you're a fan of My Life as a Teenage Robot, I recommend this crazy little special. A Johnny Bravo Christmas. Again, Johnny Bravo was one of those weird gems. But honestly, this show wouldn't pass through probably because of PC culture. But granted, this is one of those specials worth watching. This is actually the second holiday special from the first one, 'Twas the Night. I kinda like the second one better for a lot of reasons. Basically, the special follows Johnny trying to deliver his and his mother's letters to Santa, traveling to the North Pole with little Susie and his alter ego personnel, Donnie. Honestly, this special is pretty enjoyable. And always funny to see Johnny to get his comeuppance when he's flirting with women. Again, wouldn't pass PC culture today, but an enjoyable watch to look back on for Cartoon Network nostalgia. The most horrible Xmas ever from Invader Zim. Ever wonder what an Invader Zim holiday special would look like? Well, the most horrible Xmas is your answer. Basically, Zim discovers Christmas, and he does what he can do to enslave the human race for the Urkin Empire. But there's a catch. Ain't there always? The Santa suit he's wearing is triggered by jolliness, and it overpowers Zim, and makes him jolly old Saint Nick. Grr, a little demonstration if you please. But I think you get what I mean here. Honestly, if you like horror and don't feel like watching an ex-core horror Christmas flick like Black Xmas, Silent Night, or anything of the like, or don't even want to watch Krampus, I recommend the most horrible Xmas. It's a fine watch and it's super fun. Though sadly it was the last episode of the show and its creator, Jean Vasquez, also I am so sorry for mispronouncing his name incorrectly. I apologize for my garbage English and my garbage pronunciation. That is until years later when he made a comic book parody of the show, and later released the movie Enter the Florpus, which is now on Netflix. Christmas Every Day from the Fairly Odd Parents. Okay, hear me out. Look, I know Rich Hartman had himself in hot water a lot, but honestly, this special is 1,000 times better than Merry Wishmas. I think a lot of people can agree with me here. It's Christmas time, and Timmy Turner loves this holiday for a lot of reasons. No school, his parents staying home, tons of presents, so he wishes it could be Christmas every day. Cosmo and Wanda unwillingly grant his wish, with Timmy not knowing the consequences, as usual in the show. Eventually catches up to him, with Christmas not being so special anymore. No food, lesser presents, people going completely insane at this point, and the other holidays not being able to share their own joy to the kids, and others who love their holidays. For the most part, The holiday leaders have it out for Timmy, and mostly Santa, but things work out for the better in the end, with the kids wishing that it was the day after Christmas, and, well, honestly, this is one of the greater specials. I know Butch has himself in a ton of drama as of now, and maybe later down the line, but he made a pretty good Christmas special to go with the show. Wishmas, not so much. Honestly, I would recommend Christmas Every Day over Wishmas any day of the year. Jingle Jingle Jangle from Ed, Edd and Eddy. Ed, Edd and Eddy was a crazy childhood favorite of anyone who grew up with the classic Cartoon Network shows. Jingle Jingle Jangle follows Eddie, finding nothing but clothes for Christmas. A reference mentioned in Fa La La Ed was gonna add that episode, but Jingle Jingle Jangle won that coin toss. I love Fa La La Ed, but Jingle Jingle Jangle was the winner. So Eddie tries to spend Christmas at someone else's house, which most likely ends up with him getting kicked out. But in Rolf's case, when he's singing about Yesh Mayek, he ended up leaving on his own accord. Oh, poor Rolf. And poor Eddie in this episode. Seriously though, you start to feel kinda bad for Eddie in this episode. Well, he tries a scam which later becomes something genuine to have a place to stay on Christmas. Ed and Double D try to teach Eddie the true spirit of the holidays, and he later does a reference to Merry Christmas Charlie Brown, or Charlie Brown Christmas, whichever you want to call it, with replacing a light bulb on the Christmas tree lights. Santa arrives dropping a sack of presents for the kids of the cul-de-sac, with Eddie reverting to his old ways, classic Eddie, and wanted to keep the presents to himself. And later there's a reference to the nativity scene with the Kanker sisters being the three wise men, and honestly, this special is hilarious and nice all at once. A special with references to things like A Charlie Brown Christmas, the nativity scene, and a small reference from Do You See What I See when May says, "Do you see what I see?" Something twinkling in the sky. It's one of those weird Christmas specials that's a gem of this show, and I highly recommend it for any classic Cartoon Network fanatic. Hey Hey It's Kanishmas from Chowder. Chowder was a weird show, but also delightful, in a very weird way. Kanishmas is basically the Chowder Universal alt for Christmas. Chowder wants a cauliflower trimmer for Kanishmas, but Mung is unfortunately bad at making gingerbread houses, causing Kanish Crinkle to destroy the house. So after many tries and fails, Mung throws away his pride and orders a gingerbread house from Endive, his rival. This gives Chowder an idea to get help from Panini and Gorgonzola to help Mung feel better by dressing up as Kanish Kringle and eating the gingerbread house, only for the real Kanish Kringle to appear, and it turns into a race, which Chowder and friends end up winning. He later gives a little speech about how the holidays should make you feel happy and not like garbage. Chowder gives gifts to Gorgonzola, which was a sweater, and a Christmas kiss to Panini. With Chowder being the good, sweet, nice, pure boy he is, Kanish Kringle gives him his trimmer. Now the special is one of those ones that I enjoy watching year-round, mainly because of how the comedy in Chowder is portrayed, and how much Chowder reminded me of myself as a kid, sorta. So, if you like weird cooking shows like Chowder, and you like Christmas, then this special is for you. 'Twas the Fight Before Christmas from the Powerpuff Girls. As a Powerpuff Girls fan, I love this special. Basically, Princess Morbucks is deemed as naughty, so she travels to the North Pole to mess with Santa's list, making her the only one of the nice list. Well, you get the picture. So the girls fight against Princess, while they make their way to the North Pole to hopefully sort things out. It's then that Princess snaps and her true colors show, and Santa puts her on the permanent naughty plaque! Dun dun dun! Princess's powers are taken away, she's taken to jail once again, and unfortunately with Santa's workshop being destroyed, the wrongs can't be turned right. Not really the girl's fault, I blame Princess for everything. But fortunately, the girls volunteer to help, and Christmas Day is saved, thanks to the Powerpuff Girls! Plus, the narrator speaks in holiday rhymes, similar to The Night Before Christmas. Granted, may not be the best Powerpuff Girls holiday special a lot of PBG fans would expect, but I highly recommend it. It's a good special, trust me. Watch it, tell me you love it or hate it, just watch it and let me know. Blue's Big Holiday from Blue's Clues. Yet another preschool nostalgic show. With the new show Blue's Clues and You, already popularized by old fans and new fans alike, and kids with parents who grew up with the show, I decided to take a trip to memory lane. I actually had the VHS tape for this special at one point. Basically the characters have a holiday tradition of adding quilt patches, and as the show goes, Blue leaves paw-printed clues all over the place for Steve and the viewer to figure out what patch Blue wants to add to the quilt. Midway through the episode, Blue, Steve, and the viewer learn about the following holidays: Christmas, Hanukkah, and Kwanzaa. A great, wonderful, super cute, and massively sweet way to teach kids about different cultures and beliefs. And once all 3 clues are found, we figure out Blue wants to add a patch of her as a baby to the quilt. And honestly, this is one of the best Blue's Clues holiday specials I've watched. Granted, Blue's First Holiday with Joe as the new host for Blue's Clues, and Blue's Holiday Wishes from the spin-off Blue's Room were decent in their own right, but Blue's Big Holiday stuck with me the most. We Wish You a Metal Christmas from Agretsuko. From Blue's Clues to an adult anime made by Sanrio of all people, the company behind Hello Kitty, the creation of the adult anime involves the red panda character, Retsuko. I will review this anime in the future, so be prepared for that. Anyway, the Christmas special is special, in a good way. Basically, the special is about Retsuko trying to have the perfect Christmas, and at the beginning of the special, Retsuko gets Instagram advice from her coworker Sonoda, and this is something we can all relate to. Social media in the real world is a weird place. With people showing off how great their lives are, there may or may not be something more underneath the surface. All of us now who have social medias almost depend on those likes and lovely comments from our followers and viewers. Retsuko unfortunately has to work overtime on Christmas Eve while breaking to browse through Instagram, taking note of how everyone, even Sonoda, are having an amazing, bougie, Gucci, fab lifestyle Christmas. In her death metal rage, she ends up making a fake dinner date, which her other co-workers, Haida and Feniko, find out via massive editing props. Massive props to Feniko for her editing skills, bro. I have got to get her as my editor for my thumbnails. Thankfully, Retsuko hangs out with her higher-up friends, Gori and Washimi, to get ramen, later posting to her Insta, and that's the kind of thing people seem to love the most. Real, actual, fun, and being yourself. Cheesy as it sounds, it's a lot nicer that way. Near the end, Retsuko and Haida walk to the subway station, and they seem to have a future relationship going on. Nice, Haida. Another one I recommend, especially if you're a Sanrio fan. Before getting to number 1, I've got some honorable mentions. It's a SpongeBob Christmas. Now, Christmas Hoop was a SpongeBob cult classic from this overly and nearly endless Nicktoon. But It's a SpongeBob Christmas gives up classic Christmas special vibes. And it helps because the entire special is in the style of stop motion, more similar to Rake and Bass with their specials like Rudolph, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, A Year Without a Santa Claus, and so much more. For me, and a lot of other OG fans of the show, modern day SpongeBob is kind of a flop. Nickelodeon just needs it as a cash cow now at this point. But the stop motion specials are basically the saving grace of the show's once honored glory. Plus, the song Don't Be a Jerk is honestly a guilty pleasure of mine. VeggieTales, the toy that saved Christmas. I already did a review of this episode, but honestly, VeggieTales was a show I grew up with and enjoyed watching and looking back on fondly. Plus, the special was super cute and sweet, and is another special I'd like to revisit, despite my religious beliefs being different now. I still celebrate Christmas and support anyone's religion, just as long as they're respectful and kind towards each other, and educate themselves, and don't force it down other people's throats. While VeggieTales is a Christian show, it's still one I'm sure everyone likes to look back on, and rewatch every now and then if they grew up with it. All I gotta say is to Phil Vischer and Mike Naraki, thank you for this adorable, sweet, and classic veggie Christmas special. My Little Pony, the best gift ever. Now, there's been a few heartwarming specials from My Little Pony, but this one seems to be the most popular. I've only watched a little bit of the special, and only remember the ending, but this one by far is one of the best specials in the series. Next to A Heartwarming Tale and Heartwarming Eve. This one is at the top of the list when it comes to My Little Pony Christmas specials. And finally, the number one top Christmas special is Babies in Toyland from the Rugrats. Ah, Rugrats. Another big childhood classic of mine. Rugrats had a lot of holiday specials. While the first special from season 2, The Santa Experience, was good in its own right, I feel like Babies in Toyland is one of my personal favorites. Basically, the babies head to Stu's homemade Christmas land. Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, and Kimmy all try to make Dill's first Christmas special. But Angelica, being the spoiled brat she is, says if Dill doesn't have a good Christmas, she says he won't get another Christmas again. So when they meet Santa, with Grandpa Lou asleep, and the rest of the adults heading off somewhere else, and later getting snowed in the cabin, Angelica basically gets even brattier with Santa after she receives a reindeer plush, which she should be grateful for. But it's Angelica we're talking about. The working Santa gives her a real harsh truth bomb the little brat needed, and ends up quitting. So yeah, thanks to Angelica, she's now possibly ruined Christmas for not only Dill, but the rest of the babies too. So the babies head off to find Santa's workshop, which Angelica leads them astray, as the babies end up in other areas like the Nutcracker area. Angelica continues to be bratty, but later on in what I think it seems to be a play pretend dream sequence, the elf and a reindeer toy, which she named Prancy, teach her the true meaning of Christmas, and teach her that kindness and being nice is better than being bratty and naughty, which she seems to have a change of heart for this episode only. Maybe. She's nice in some of the other episodes, but still. The babies then find the nativity scene and give their gifts to the fake baby Jesus, and they seem to understand the true meaning of Christmas too. Grandpa Lou finds the babies, Angelica catches up to give them gifts. She even gives Dill Prancy, which is actually super sweet of her. Lou shovels out the snow, and the parents decide to not go to a fancy party and stay here to celebrate the rest of the holiday with each other and the kids. And honestly, this is the best Rugrats holiday special in this series. Prove me wrong. Sorry, Santa Experience. This special won my heart. I highly recommend this one for any and all nostalgic freaks, and for classic Nicktoons fans everywhere. Whew! That was a lot to go through. There may be more I'd add, but I could only add a few honorable mentions and 10 specials. But hey, I may make a part 2 next time. You never know. That being said, cue the outro. RP is out. Peace!